You're listening to an Airwave Media Podcast.
For this night, everyone was a high roller.
I think it's beautiful. The chandeliers are gorgeous, the place is gorgeous, and it'll take some time before everybody gets organized.
From the very beginnings of Donald Trump's burgeoning real estate empire, he wanted a casino. That's what he wanted. Atlantic City just allows casino gambling in a referendum, like as long as it's restricted to one place, Atlantic City, where the state can watch it and the state can collect a lot of money from it. And that coincides with Trump, who had just turned over the Grand Hyatt in New York and had some success, but also had a lot of publicity behind him. And so bankers didn't know quite what to do. When he tried to get loans to build something in Atlantic City, there was resistance. He had just loaned out a lot on other projects. He had just put $50 million in a bid on Barbizon Plaza at Central Park South for an apartment building. And most of that wasn't his money. There were other people involved in that loan. Now he wanted a casino, just made legal. And he had a license from the New Jersey Control Commission. He had a lease for Boardwalk land. And he told his bankers, my name means success. But bankers at this point mostly said no. You have only had one real construction project. In 1980, a national syndicated column had said Trump was worth $1 billion. The New York Daily News gossip columnist, Liz Smith, said the same. Kid billionaire, the papers called him.
The Trump Tower, when it's completed, will be $400 million worth of high-priced apartments, commercial space, and boutiques.
What's happened is phenomenal. I've never seen anything to the extent that I have in New York. It now, from a real estate standpoint, has probably become the hottest city in the world. People are flocking here by droves. And I guess a lot of things had to do with it. Mostly, I feel, it was the psychology of making New York a winner as opposed to a loser.
It's a nice line, but straight public relations. The tax holiday that the Trump Organization was given to build this hotel in 42nd Street is worth $45 million. But Donald Trump wouldn't dream of blushing.
But reporters were simply reporting what the others were reporting. No one had verified the numbers. In some cases, reporters said it before he even claimed to be a billionaire. But as the news media started calling him kid billionaire and things like that, he saw no reason to deny it. But when it came to Forbes, Trump actually solicited a write-up, and he said the Trump camp was worth $900 million. It was simply not true in 1982 when he said it. And we know this because the Casino Commission had the actual records, and it was quite a bit less. Trump only owned 1,500 of his father's apartments, but claimed them all. When the Forbes paper questioned that, like, you're saying that they're worth $40,000 each, how can that be? That was a very high price for 1982. He said, okay, $20,000. So he just dropped it in half instantly, which raised some suspicions.
Probably it's the greatest thing that the city ever did, and I think the city is the first to acknowledge it. They went overboard. They gave a tremendous break for the first time, actually, in the history of New York. We got this commercial tax abatement. We took a building that had one person working. We now employ 2,000 people, and we employed during peak construction periods over 4,000 people. So the city is the big winner. I might add one other thing. I would have never built the development if I didn't get the tax abatement.
Meanwhile, in the Casino Control Commission, they knew what he had. He had his father's $500,000 salary from his father's company, and then another commission from a sale that he had made for $8 million, a $35 million line of credit, I should say, from Chase. His father co-signed on that, and his 1978 and 1979 tax returns were negative in terms of income. But a call from mega lawyer Roy Cohn assured that to Forbes that Trump had $500 million at hand. And that was all Forbes needed. At one point, Donald Trump claimed that he had sold $30 million in gold. Nobody has ever found a record of that sale, but it was something that he was saying at the time. So they keep trying to raise money for what will be a superb Trump casino. They go with Michael Milken, at this time the junk bond king. and try to raise money that way. They talk to Bob Guccione, who has Penthouse magazine, and see if they can get money that way. But it's Michael Rose at Holiday Inn who becomes interested, and he owns Harrah's, an entertainment corporation with properties in Las Vegas. You build it, Michael says. We'll run it. And they offered $50 million in cash and a loan guarantee of $170 million for this property. And they quibble about the name. Trump says, I want my name on it. Harrah's negotiating representative, Philip Sart, says, no, that's crazy. Our corporation is Harrah's. You want our name on this. Our name's big in this industry. If I don't have my name on it, I'm out, he says. And in New York, they don't know you. So they agreed on Harrah's at Trump Plaza. That's what it would be called. Phil Sart is a West Coast guy. This will be his one and only time. He never heard of Trump, dealing with him. First thing Trump tells him, I think I'm probably the most successful person my age in the United States. Sart is a pretty young guy, and he's heading up a major division of a big corporation. And he gives Sart some advice. This is according to Sart, I should say, and according to a not favorable book on Trump, but of where to pick up women in New York. And if he wants to meet models, go to the Port Authority. We can do this, Phil Sart says, with this name and do the loan guarantee and the cash, but my board needs to see some construction here. Are you actually building this thing? And Trump very much was not. He didn't have money to start building. All he could do was put lots of bulldozers on the lot. And so when the Harrah's board visits, these machines are pushing around useless earth, doing nothing essentially but making a big show. Nonetheless, he gets Harrah's in. Trump had construction sense. Sawtooth design would maximize the ocean view in the rooms, brass glass, and a classy exterior. Unlike other casinos, the casino's not the first thing when you walk in. It's a beautiful lobby.
The 39-story, 614-room hotel cost $220 million to build. The 60,000-square-foot casino is called the largest in Atlantic City, and during its test run, the gaming tables used only play money. For this night, everyone was a high roller.
Harrah's has a different way of operating. They bring in Bob Hope, Sammy Davis Jr., kind of like they would in Vegas for the opening show, and they have Neil Diamond playing in the arena at Harrah's at Trump Plaza for 17,000 people, sold out. And that's the first thing that the Donald complains about. How much am I paying for Neil Diamond? He's building a case of grievance. The slot machines, and this is fairly normal, with any kind of opening, there's going to be a few glitches. Some of the slot machines, couple hundred, are not approved by the Casino Commission and can't be operating. He makes a huge fuss about that Harrah's doesn't know what they're doing. I gave you a Lamborghini, he says. Harrah's wants, to operate, he says, you're going to have competitive wages. There's a lot of competition. This is the 10th casino in Atlantic City now. You're going to have product improvements. People are going to go from place to place. Got to give them a bigger experience. Harrah's had market research. Now, market research at this time is very important, very valuable. Not everybody would have something like that, and Harrah's uses data. Remember today we're always talking about data-driven decisions. Like Harrah's is using data for everything, how their customers think, act, spend. Never mind that crap, he said. They're noticing that anything that Harrah's wants to spend, he objects to. But yet his USFL football team, the New Jersey Generals, will spend a fortune on them. Another thing gets Trump upset. He starts hearing that Harrah's other units, so Atlantic City, if you're not familiar, and you may not be, has basically two areas. You're allowed to open casinos in any part of Atlantic City. To this day, that's still a restriction in the state of New Jersey, that Atlantic City is the designated area for gambling. I should say for in-person. But you can have it in different areas of the city. So there's kind of the front end, and that's the boardwalk facing the ocean. Most of these casinos are. And then the back end, there are a number of casinos at the Marina, which faces the bay. And it sort of works because the bay casinos, once a person's in a casino, it doesn't really matter what's outside. What they found after 1980 was that people didn't really spend a lot of time strolling on the boardwalk. Once they got at the casino, they were in the casino and doing things there. And so whether you're on the boardwalk or bay, nice view out the window either way, and you're in gambling and fun. And some of these newer would do. So Harrah's has a casino in the back of Atlantic City on the Marina, and it's doing quite well, and Trump gets wind of it. And now he says, wait, my partners, you're competing with me. Now, what I want you to do is send me some of the customers from there, send them over to Harrah's at Trump Plaza. They're not going to do that. And so the relationship is strained. There's now, as is probably inevitable here, lawsuits. There's going to be lawsuits for many years over this. And eventually, Trump gets wind that the Hilton, which is also in this marina area away from the boardwalk, right next to the Harrah's casino, has a problem. They've put on their board a guy that had mob connections. And the Casino Control Commission doesn't like it and is striking them from ownership of this casino they got to sell. And so Trump puts together with various people, maybe some, always using, complicated financial devices where there really isn't any cash in the deal. It's like using bonds as collateral, putting up various other real estate properties to back the one, using junk bonds in this case. He puts down everything he has to buy this marina along with some partners. Now, Phil Sart from Harrah's is like, we hear that you're buying a casino. We hear you're putting your name on it. That would be a violation of our deal. I wouldn't do that, Trump said. But yet, a few days later, it's revealed he's going to call it Trump Castle. And Trump Castle will open up across from Harrah's, and it did exist for quite some time.
Welcome to a kingdom where everybody's treated like a king.
Just a few hours ago, Trump Plaza closed its doors, becoming the fourth Atlantic City casino to close this year, the third in the past few weeks.
Yuki, the sun has come out on the boardwalk, and there's lots of people walking around, but one place they will not be able to visit any longer, the Trump Plaza. In recent years, it's been one of the least popular casinos, but for more than 3 decades, it's been in the center of it all in Atlantic City. And worst of all, there was almost 1,000 employees that worked here. Early this morning, the casino officially shut down, marking the fourth casino to close in Atlantic City this year and the third in just over 2 weeks. Owner Trump Entertainment is hundreds of millions of dollars in debt, and Trump Plaza has been one of the lowest performing casinos for several years. The hope now is that Trump's other property, Taj Mahal, can emerge from bankruptcy and keep their 2,800 employees from being laid off. So far this year, 8,000 casino employees have been impacted by what they're calling the downsizing of Atlantic City's casino industry. Many of those employees not sure what they'll do next.
This was my second home right here. 26 years, my second home. I had a good run here. It was nice. A lot of good times. Keep in touch with everybody, so we'll be okay. I'll be all right.
We also spoke with the mayor early this morning, who said that he's not sure about the future of this place, whether it'll be a hotel, condos, or something else. In fact, he didn't rule out the possibility of Trump Plaza being bulldozed for something completely different.
In 1988, fashion mavens were abuzz when New York developer Donald Trump appeared for a benefit dinner in Tampa for the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Tampa. While his suit was a drab gray, it was his tie, a brilliant pink, that caught the attention of everyone. "This year's power tie is pink," a headline would read. And indeed, power was the subject of much of Trump's 40-minute speech. His solution to national economic problems is to let our real killers loose, allow the top executives to deal with international issues, such as trade restrictions with Japan and Taiwan and Iran-Iraq hostilities. "Have Carl Icahn deal with the Japanese," Trump said. And while Trump insisted that he wasn't running for office, his thoughts on the issue, says the Tampa Bay Times, is as clear as his necktie. If I were president, this country wouldn't be ripped off anymore. So he, take it for what you will. I think it just shows how visible Trump was as a figure. And I don't think the politicians were ever interested in letting him in that circle. But he was this extreme shiny object of the news and was constantly talked about for president, although it was always in a fringe suggestion. And he was the one always inserting himself into national discussions. In a biography of George H.W. Bush by John Meekum, that comes out in 2016, and I used that for the 1988 a bit. It says that Trump was interested in becoming vice president in 1988, which Quayle eventually got. Trump explained in 2016, when he was on with Jake Tapper, that his potential candidacy was an idea first broached by Bush political advisor Lee Atwater. But Lee Atwater says Trump approached him, so this is something that we're never going to be able to rectify. Trump said Atwater's a great guy, absolute friend. He asked me about it and said, "Would you at all consider it?" But that was the last time we talked about it. I said, "I don't know, Lee. Check it out, take a look, and if it works, I guess I would consider it." Never went farther than that. Now, Meekum's biography has it's reversed. It says Trump asked Lee Atwater, and Bush thought it was strange and unbelievable, and he didn't consider it. So goes the little blip of Trump for VP in 1988. I don't think Trump would make a good VP for anybody. He would be constantly upstaging. And again, I don't even think it got much farther. Certainly for journalists, for copy, they loved writing about Trump. And you got to remember the timing too. When I talk about the pink tie or the VP thing, if we fast forward to like 1991, you're not going to be hearing that anymore because Trump was looked at as a ruined figure. His Taj Mahal casino in Atlantic City built this giant casino. Now it's a Hard Rock. Very good place, by the way. But he had overbuilt, it seemed. He had gotten into financial troubles and had to be bailed out. And there was a lot of that going on in 1990, and he just became, he wasn't the fix-it man anymore.